Wait till everybody lines up.
Is everyone good?
Oh, yes. Everybody squinting properly? Although we have worked around the clock to address his concerns, Attorney General Barr has just informed us that he will not attend tomorrow's hearing. Given his lack of candor in describing the work of the special counsel, our members were right to insist that staff counsel be permitted to question the Attorney General. I understand why he wants to avoid that kind of scrutiny, but when push comes to shove, the administration cannot dictate the terms of our hearing in our hearing room. The Department of Justice has also told us that they will not comply with our subpoena for the full unredacted Mueller report, a subpoena that was returnable today. I will continue to work with the Attorney General to reach a reasonable accommodation on access to the full report and the underlying evidence, but not for much longer. Compliance with congressional subpoenas is not optional, and if good faith negotiations don't result in a pledge of compliance in the next day or two, the next step is seeking a contempt citation against the Attorney General. There are many questions that must be answered. The committee will convene at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning as planned. My colleagues will be present. I hope and expect that the Attorney General will think overnight and will be there as well. Are there any questions?
Will you issue a subpoena for Mr. Barr in the morning?
We will issue a subpoena. No, in the morning, tomorrow we will not issue a subpoena. But the first thing is to get the unredacted report, and we will negotiate on that for another day or two, and if necessary, and remember that was subpoenaed, if necessary, go for a contempt citation shortly thereafter. We will also start a process to get Attorney General Barr there.
What is your response to the ranking member who says you're torpedoing this hearing?
We're not torpedoing this hearing. The committee has the right to determine its own procedures. The Attorney General has a nerve to try to dictate, and the administration has a nerve to dictate our procedures. It's simply part of the administration's complete stonewalling of Congress, period. And what the ranking member is saying is that by determining how we'll proceed, we are stonewalling, as if it's our choice that he should not come. He is trying to blackmail the committee into not following what we think is the most effective means of eliciting the information we need. And the Congress cannot permit the executive branch, we cannot permit the administration to dictate to Congress how we operate.
Do you really have committee lawyers to question him?
Several of your colleagues have called for Barr to resign today. Can you join them in that?
Well, I think he's going to have to answer for apparently testifying untruthfully in both the Senate and the House, and that's certainly one option.
Will you start contempt proceedings about not getting? Will you start contempt proceedings for not getting the unredacted Mueller report?
That's what I said.
What about for not?
What about for not appearing?
That's down the road. That's down the road. We haven't issued a subpoena for him to appear yet.
And you're not planning to do that tomorrow?
I didn't say that. We may issue a subpoena, but our first priority is to get the unredacted Mueller report. And by the way, we're looking to get Mueller before the committee on May 15th, which is another priority.
May 15th, a new date?
Have you had any
No, that's the date we've been talking about.
Okay. For Mueller.
Not yet. Well, they've announced that the department has announced they have no objection, and we're seeking to firm up the date.
Last question.
Do you really need committee lawyers to ask questions tomorrow? I mean, do you think that's one of the reasons why he's not coming?
I think that is the reason he's not coming. He is terrified. He is terrified of having to face a skilled attorney. The problem is, I mean, in fact, we've all seen congressional hearings. We have very talented members. They ask very good questions. But a 5-minute rule is not conducive to follow-up. We've seen repeatedly administration witnesses, including Attorney General Barr, spend the first 4.5 minutes filibustering, the last half minute giving a non-responsive answer, and then it's on to the next person. It is very valuable, as any lawyer will tell you, to have somebody, in this case a staff lawyer, who can follow up, take up loose ends that were suggested by questions from members and follow up when he gives an unresponsive answer and say, but wait a minute, you said this last week, how can you say this now, or whatever. That's effective, the most effective way at getting at the facts and getting at the truth. And given, I can understand, given how dishonest he has been since March 24th at the earliest, since March 24th at the latest, I can understand why he is afraid of facing more effective examination.
How does this affect him?
We're finished. Thank you.
All right, so there you hear it. Jerry Nadler, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, announcing, making it official. They've been told by the Justice Department, the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr, will not appear before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. that he had been scheduled to appear. But Nadler says, and I'm quoting him now, he's terrified, referring to Barr, he's terrified to face a skilled attorney for 30 minutes who would be able to ask tough questions. It's a serious development unfolding. Manu Raju, you broke the story for us just a little while ago. It's going to be a dramatic scene tomorrow morning. They're going to have this hearing. There'll presumably be an empty chair. Barr won't be there. Then they can go and do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's right. And when Nadler made clear that he plans to move to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt if he does not agree to the subpoena demands that were laid out that require the Justice Department to turn over the full unredacted Mueller report as well as the underlying evidence. That subpoena says that that information must be turned over to the House Judiciary Committee by today. According to Nadler, the administration has informed him that they will not comply with those demands. So Nadler made clear here, Wolf, that he's going to spend 1 or 2 more days discussing with the Justice Department about any sort of accommodation, any sort of deal that they could reach. But if they do not reach any sort of deal to the liking of Jerry Nadler, he said they're going to move to hold the Attorney General in contempt of Congress. He also warned of a subpoena to compel Bill Barr to actually appear before the House Judiciary Committee. He didn't say that that would come necessarily tomorrow, but he did say that the subpoena would come to try to force Bill Barr to appear. Of course, these objections all over whether or not staff attorneys could question the Attorney General after members of Congress are allowed to question. Republicans say there's no precedent for this to allow staff attorneys to question witnesses, particularly cabinet officials. Democrats say there has been precedent in the past. They point to impeachment proceedings. Republicans say, well, this is not an impeachment proceeding. But nevertheless, this squabble over process leading to a significant development here. The Attorney General skipping a hearing that the Democrats have been eager to question about the Mueller investigation, his rollout, his handling of the Mueller probe after today's hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and now Jerry Nadler making clear, Wolf, subpoenas could be coming, contempt citation could be coming, and court action as well if they don't get what they want.